Ambassador Blaak, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
So, what do you think are going to be the key challenges in the relationship between Africa and Europe this year?
Well, let me start with what we want to get out of it together is a win-win situation. And what we would like to achieve with the European Union is trade instead of aid. Trade, of course, we all know that that's where development comes from. You know, Africa is a huge continent and it has enormous mineral resources available. We estimated about $80 trillion of mineral resources in the whole of Africa that have not yet been exploited. One, of course, a major challenge in our relationship will be migration. Out of all Africans on the move, 80% stay in Africa. And we as Uganda, as you may know, we are quite now have become a little bit renowned for the way we receive and are hospitable to any Africans who need to leave their country of origin. So we have 1.2 million refugees on Ugandan territory.
In February, we'll have the African Union Summit with Egypt as its chair. Do you feel there will be the same push for reforms as we have seen under the presidency of Rwandan President Paul Kagame?
I would say initiative for reforms is not something that was only done, you know, when President Kagame took over the chairmanship. He has really pushed it forward. And of course, it remains to be seen. I also don't have a crystal ball, but I don't think that these reforms are going to somehow fall behind because of Egypt chairing. No. When I spoke to the Egyptian ambassador recently, he also indicated that these type of reforms need to be pushed by the member states. We are 55 member states now. So it's us to push it, and not so much the institution as such. There has to be a willingness of the member states to actually advance on that. And every organization from time to time needs reforms.
2019 will also be a key year for the renewal of the Cotonou Agreement. Where do you see the African Union's position in these negotiations?
So I think the African Union will come in maybe with some expert knowledge as and where it's required by the central negotiation team that we have set up within the ACP countries. So it's not the AU taking the lead on it. No, it will be the ACP staying together as a unity, Africa, Caribbean, and Pacific, because that's how we started. And I think we shall certainly want to stay together in solidarity.
And will the next agreement be a better agreement for Africa?
Yes, okay. I'm a bit concerned about that, especially because of your elections coming on, and if there's really more of a push to the right and keeping foreigners out. It depends again as to the perception that the voters have, and I think the issue of solidarity and feeling responsible for the well-being of people who live in poverty is dwindling a bit. And that, I hope, will still be retained, because if we lose that, I think we lose out on humanity in general.
In our challenges paper, we have been talking about the attacks on multilateralism that have developed in the last years. Do you feel Europe and Africa can and should work together to fight this worrying trend?
We are really the most natural alliance that we have, I think, between the EU and Africa, more than with any other continent. Because if we don't fight together the attack on multilateralism, we are all going to lose out. We believe in Africa as well in regional cooperation and regional integration. That's the only way now in a globalized world that we live in that we can still develop and be part of that globalized world. And if you don't and you fall apart, everybody is going to lose.